Imagine victory parade. It's wow. People are up in celebration. They're excited, elated. This is the one who will save us. This is the one who will free us. This is the one who will get the Romans going. Finally, Jesus will set us free. And there he is coming, and he's coming. And he's not coming on a stallion. He's not coming on a war horse that is armored. He doesn't come on a Roman warrior's chariot. He's not coming in a limo, not coming in a Hummer. He's coming on a donkey, a servant animal. You could not contrast it more from military Roman rule, the love of power and oppression, to Jesus, the power of love and of service to set us free. And that is the distinction in between military power and oppression, the Roman Empire, of whom King Herod was a puppet and Pilate was the governor, the local area guy in charge. And Jesus and his realm of peace, his realm of love, his realm of power. So think about when the love of power transforms into the power of love. That's where Jesus is at work. And this love of Jesus finds expression in service. As we go into Holy Week and the whole Passover celebration for which all the people gathered in Jerusalem, Passover was the feast of freedom. Finally, we're free from Egypt, from slavery, from whatever shackles us, whatever constrains us. Finally, we're free. So the people are there to celebrate this freedom. And then Jesus takes the opportunity of the Passover meal where they gather together to celebrate and puts on a robe and washes his disciples' dirty, dusty feet. Jesus, the teacher, the leader, the one to whom they look up, becomes a servant and kneels, rolls his sleeves up, gets his hands dirty, and washes their feet. Jesus serves like a slave. He's a servant leader. He models, he does. He shows how to love through service. That's what he does through the foot washing. And that's where he invites us to love in the same way. Love through service. And I think that love finds a wonderful expression in the quote that is the pinnacle for me of what it means from Martin Luther King Jr., who says, "If you want to be important, it's wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant." By giving that definition of greatness, it means that everyone can be great because everyone can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know about Plato or Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know Einstein's theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. And you can be that servant. Love serves, my friend. And what does it mean to serve like Jesus? It is just in the same way when we roll our sleeves up, when we get on our knees. And we have that here in our congregation. I'm amazed. The visitation ministry team, people checking on people who are homebound, who cannot be here with us, just being the hands, the heart of Jesus in action. We have a group of 15 people who write notes to people who are struggling with cancer, with loss, with grief, with various challenges in their lives. We have Messy Church, we have Loaves and Fishes, our food outreach ministry, we have the Meet and Eat, we have Kids Night Out, a hospitality team, serving like Jesus. That's what it is about. And I love how the prayer of St. Francis puts it. It's almost like in a nutshell. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not as much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love, for it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. It is through selfless service, by how we give, how we serve, that we're molded and shaped and become more like Jesus. And Jesus takes the side of the hurting, the suffering, the lonely, the disregarded, the strangers, the foreigners, the ones who are oppressed, the ones who are living on the margins. That's who Jesus is. And Elie Wiesel put it so beautifully, because Jesus takes the side of those who are hurting. He says, I swore to myself never to be silent again, where human beings endure suffering and humiliation. We must always take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, not the tormented. Jesus meets us in those who are lonely, who are lost, who are struggling, who feel like they do not belong, who are strangers, who are lowly, to those who are hurting, in those who are hurting and suffering, in those who feel like they do not belong, they're different, in those whom we have a hard time loving. Jesus meets us in those whom we have a hard time loving. Jesus shows us how to serve. Love serves. How do you love? How do you serve?